the thing about success that most don't consider is that you can get all of the strategies, but you'll never be more successful than your mindset allows. Now, we've talked about why it takes a new you to get to new levels. But today, we're answering the question, what are those new levels? And how do I apply the new me to get to the next level? Okay. So let's talk about getting from here to there with your business. And it's coming from this week's bigger topic of next level success. So today is part two. Yesterday was part one. So we're going from a Google Doc this week because the information that I'm giving you, I did not create a blog post because I'm going to do a future I'm not going to say publicized, but published article on it. And, most of the places that you publish that are big names, they don't like you to have published other places. So I'm not going to publish it. I'm just going to share with you my thoughts on it. Okay. So I have shared the Google Doc link excuse me, to today's conversation and today's strategies, both in the YouTube and in studio. So let me go over here. Now, today we're talking about getting from here to there with your business, but I would be remiss if I don't give you the Google Doc from yesterday. So the link to that is at the top of today's Google Doc, because what we talked about on yesterday were the mindset shift of understanding why every next level of business demands a new you. And I gave you the 10 keys you need to create the new you to get to that next level. So that link is to that Google Doc is at the top of today's Google Doc, because we're going to revisit those 10 success keys today. But first, let's talk about the levels, because that's the first part of our question for today. What are these business levels, right? Well, there are some great experts out there that have identified levels of business, and what it takes to rise through those levels for success. And I'm going to share a couple of them with you. Two experts that I like. Let me just share it with you first, right? So first, there's Alice Charfen, and he is known for his levels that are called the billionaire code, right? And so I'm gonna share that picture with you, so that you guys can see a bigger picture of that, even though it is in our Google Doc. But I want you to see it on the screen. So this is it. This is Alex Charfen's billionaire code. Okay. He says the first level is a seeker. And that's going to take you from $0 in revenue to 40K in revenue. Okay. The next level is a starter. That's supposed to take you from 40K to 100K. Okay. The next level is promoter. That's going to take you from 100K, your first six figures, to 300K. Okay. The fourth level is called a builder, and that's supposed to take you from 300K to your first million. Okay. The next level, he says, is an operator, and that's going to take you from the million to 3 million. Next level, leader. It's going to take you from 3 million to 10 million. Okay. Next level is an owner, and it's going to take you from 10 million to 30 million. The next level is called investor, and that's supposed to take you from 30 million to 100 million. Okay. The last level, he says, is an entrepreneur, and that's going to take you from 100 million to over 100 million. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but most people I know in business, this scale does not resonate, right? Most of us entrepreneurs, for you to tell me that level two is six figures, level two, when so many entrepreneurs go through so much before they ever get to their first six figures, how could that only be level two, right? But that was the first one that I wanted to share with you. So each level, they talk about what they feel like should be your focus, what they feel like the primary question you are asking, your biggest hurdle, what they feel like you need, how you graduate to the next level, the communication systems you need to have in place, the movement you should be doing, what you're doing with your tribe or your audience, and what you're doing for a team as support. Okay. Again, most of these levels kind of don't resonate with most of us. Therefore, everything under it is not going to resonate. But it's in the Google Doc if you want to check that out later. Okay. Now, let me move that out the way. Now, the next person that's an expert that has their different levels is called, well, her name is Rachel Rogers, right? She is a New York Times bestselling author, and her book is called We Should All Be Millionaires. From that book, she spent off and created a business mastermind called Hello 7. And for Hello 7, she created the business levels that she calls scale. So now I'm going to share that with you. And we're going to talk about how that resonates. Okay. If I can get the share button to work. Okay, here we go. Cool. There it is. Okay. So I used to be in the Hello 7 mastermind. So I understand what these levels are, and that's where I got it from. Okay. So her levels are, they have they have names, but they also have the numbers, right? So Hello 7 means that, the first level is Hello 1, Hello 2, Hello 3, 4, whatever, but she also gives them other nicknames, okay? So the first level, she says, is a beginner. That's from 0 to 24,999 in revenue in a year, okay? Level 2 is budding. That's 25,000 to just under 50,000 in a year, okay? The next level is busy bee. So that's 50,000 to just under 100K, okay? Next level is breadwinner. That's your first 6 figures to just under 250,000 a year, okay? Next level is boss, is the 5th level. That's 250K to just under 500K a year. Next level, she says, is badass. That's from 500K a year to just under a million. And then Hello 7 is your million or your 7 figures and beyond. Okay. So again, most of us, this is better than the billionaire code. Like, we can kind of see this a little more, but also this doesn't resonate with most of the entrepreneurs that I know, especially not those that are struggling to get to their first 6 figures, right? So they find themselves not necessarily represented, right, by this scale of levels of business. So they say this is the annual revenue, and then, this is the percentage of women owners in that. This is the number of women-owned businesses at that level, whatever. But we still don't feel like we're represented by these numbers, right? So what I understand from working with different people is that those levels don't resonate. So I had to create levels that may resonate better for you, okay? So we have to go back to an old blog post of mine, and I'm going to drop that link. It is in the Google Doc, but just in case you want a different link going directly to it, I'm going to drop that link for you. Boom. All right. Cool. Let me go back. Okay. So neither of those, either from Alex or from Rachel, resonate. So what I had to do was create something that resonates better. And when I say better, I mean I got this information from the many entrepreneurs that I have provided my fractional COO service to, the many online service-based entrepreneurs struggling to get to their first 6 figures that I have coached, the many entrepreneurs that have been in masterminds alongside me, okay? Like, most of the people that I know that are entrepreneurs, none of that stuff resonates with them. So I had to come up with something that resonates more. So if you go to the blog post, and I'm going to share it in a minute, but first I'm going to give you the 4 levels that most of us go through before we ever hit our first 6 figures, okay? And so the first level is called transactional. The second level is survival. The third level is capacity. And the 4th level is scale. And in that 4th level is where you start to hit that first 6 figures and beyond. Okay. So let me pull up that blog post and share it with you guys, because I'm going to give you a little bit on each one of those stages. Okay, so the blog post was small business growth stages and how to graduate to each stage. Okay, so to tell you a little bit about the transactional stage, the key characteristics are this stage is marked by initial excitement and support from close connections. It's crucial proof of concept phase, where the business idea is tested in a small familiar market, which is really mom and them. Okay, So the main challenge is the limited scope of the initial market, which is friends and family, which is not sustainable long term. The transition to finding external clients is your biggest hurdle at this stage, right? And then we talk about some strategies to overcome that. All right. Now, next stage is survival. Key characteristics: entrepreneurs begin to streamline their offerings, focusing on profitability and sustainability rather than extras that do not contribute to the bottom line. Because, see, sometimes when we start in business, we're throwing everything at it, we're adding in everything extra. We might not even be worried about the cost of the box that it goes in or how much the platform is every month that we're servicing people from, because we're happy that anybody is paying us to do anything, right? But when you start crunching them numbers, what you find is you can't go on like that because you're eating into the profit margin. So this survival, once you realize, hey, I want to have a business, this survival mode starts to kick in. And so your biggest challenge is achieving a positive cash flow and expanding your customer base beyond that initial network. Okay. And these are some of those strategies that will help you to graduate to the next phase, which is capacity. Okay. This is especially so for us service-based entrepreneurs. So the key characteristics of this level is the business sees an increase in demand and recognizes the need for additional help either through hiring or technology. Because what are you trying to do? You're trying to open your capacity to service more people and make more money. Because as one person doing everything, there's only so many people you can service, which means there's only so much money you can make. Okay. So now we're trying to open our capacity. Now, the challenge to that: managing growth without compromising the quality or the customer service is a significant challenge. Right? When you start hiring people, when you start adding in technology that wasn't something that you were used to doing, now you're having growing pains, right? You're bringing in stuff and you're breaking things as you're trying new things. You're breaking the old things, okay? So entrepreneurs must also adapt their operational processes to handle increased capacity, all right? And then there are some actionable steps here on how to graduate to the next phase, which is scale, okay? Key characteristics of scale. This stage involves deep strategic planning, focusing on what works and eliminating what doesn't work. It's about building a sustainable business model that can not only grow but scale, which is growth in excellence. Okay. The biggest challenge in this phase, in this stage, is maintaining a balance between growth and the company's core values and quality. Okay. Additionally, creating scalable systems and processes requires significant effort and strategic insight. All right. So it's hard to get to your first six figures until you have certain things in place that are repeatable processes working in your favor. That's a well-oiled machine. That's what that is. And this is giving you some strategies to be successful at this level. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell our in-studio people. First thing you're going to do is identify what level you're on. And then we're going to talk about some of these strategies and how you're going to work them in your favor. Okay. So first, let me go to, I'm going to go ahead and put today's question so y'all can be thinking, because I know I'm about to take you down through here, and that's all right. So there you go. In studio, let me give everybody over here on YouTube the question. Sonya already over there talking. All right. So that's the full question. Like, which stage are you on and what is going to be the thing that helps you the most? Okay. But let's get into the thing that could help you the most. Okay. So let's go further down on this Google Doc. Now that you have a basis for the levels, the ones that experts are saying are the levels, the ones that I am defining as the levels that probably resonate better with you. Now we're going to take our 10 keys of success from yesterday and apply them to every level. Okay. Because in the blog post, we talked about actionable strategies. But don't forget, at the top of this morning, what I told you is none of those strategies are going to work if your mindset is not right. And our 10 keys are about your mindset, because that's what's going to give you the new you to help you get to the next level. This is going to be what helps you to overcome the mental hurdles. Okay, cool. So, level 1, transactional. How do we get from transactional to survival with our mindset? Okay. Well, one of the biggest things to hold you back can be thinking that you can just sell to family and friends and that is a business, right? So, we're just using that as an example. You can have any number of things that keep you in that transactional, okay? One of the things could be thinking that you can keep playing around like this is a hobby. That'll keep you in transactional, right? Because just because you sell stuff don't really mean you have a business or that you are using business acumen that can get you to the next level. So what are the things in your mindset? How are we going to use these keys to get out of here? So, number 1, reflection. We need to recognize that relying on mom and them isn't sustainable. Okay. Admit your fear of putting yourself out there to strangers. Okay. Because to have a successful business, we have to sell to strangers. All right. Number 2, observation and critical thinking. Notice where other service providers find their clients and study what platforms, what groups, and events work for them. Okay? This is going to help you to understand that, hey, this is proof that mom and them is not enough. Okay? Number 3, focus and prioritization. Stop tinkering with logos and freebies. Prioritize learning how to consistently attract clients outside of your circle. Okay? So stop spending time on the stuff that don't matter. Number 4, courage. Courage, pitch yourself publicly for the first time, even if it feels terrifying. Okay? Again, you may not be able to get rid of fear, and you shouldn't rely on being able to get rid of fear. You should rely on doing it anyway. Okay? You're going to feel fear about things. You are human. That's a part of being human. But you cannot let that stop you from doing it. So, your goal is not to stop fear from happening. Okay? It's a human response. The goal is to feel it and move forward anyway. All right? Number 5, resourcefulness. Use free social media groups, networking events, and referral requests as your first lead generation systems. Use these things that are a little more comfortable, okay, to get beyond mom and them, okay, so we can start selling to different people. Be resourceful. Number 6, problem solving. If people say no, dig in and say, is this the message? Is it the offer? Or is it who I'm trying to sell to? So we can figure out where we should test things to solve why we're not getting sales. Okay. Number 7, resilience. Don't let one ghosted message send you back into hiding. Keep showing up. All right. Adaptability. If Instagram isn't working, test LinkedIn. If networking events flop, try collaborations. Okay. We need to adapt. When one thing is not working, pivot to something else. Number 9, letting go. Drop the idea that selling is begging. Selling is serving. Okay. In fact, not selling, right, has the people that you could be helping still over there not being helped. So you should feel bad if you're not selling. Okay. It's that deep of a service. Number 10, energy generation. You need to start building the stamina to handle outreach consistently. Okay. Even when rejection stings. So that's the energy you need to be generating. All right. So that's how you get from transactional to survival using our 10 keys. So if you're still in the transactional stage, I want to know which of these 10 will help you get to the next level. Like which one of them do you have the biggest problem with that you know if you can solve for it, you can get to the next level. Now, stage 2, survival. How do we get out of survival and get to capacity? One of the biggest negative mindset box that you're going to have to overcome is as long as I break even, then I'm doing fine. That's survival mode, right? So let's go through our 10 keys. Again, that's not the only negative mindset that's keeping you here. We're just using it as an example, but we're still going to apply these 10 keys no matter what your negative mindset is. But we're using this as an example. Number 1, reflect. Acknowledge that busy but broke isn't why you started your business. Okay. Face your fear, raise your prices. Okay. Observation and critical thinking is number 2. Track your true numbers, expenses, profit margins, and client acquisition costs. A lot of y'all just be over here just selling stuff, buying stuff to help you to sell, buying stuff to sell, buying stuff to help you to service, but you don't know You have no idea what your expenses are. You have no idea how much money you're actually bringing in and how often. You have no idea if you have a profit or a loss. What you know is I keep funding my business and my business is not funding itself. Go down to the numbers, okay? Number three, focus and prioritization. Put your energy into the offers that bring the most profit, not the ones that feel fun, the ones that you like the most to do, okay? The one that is actually selling, all right? Number four, courage. Raise your rates or trim unnecessary extras and expenses from your packages, okay? Number five, resourcefulness. Use DIY tools or low cost platforms instead of expensive, fancy solutions until the business can do more. Okay. If the business can't pay for that stuff, you might can't be using that just yet. Put it on your wish list and let that be motivation for you to raise them prices so that your business can hold more expenses. All right. Number six, problem solving. If your audience resists higher prices, test payment plans, test bundles, test smaller commitments for them to pay for at a time. But don't just lower the price. All right. So if the price is not working out, try other things to get the same amount of money, okay, for your expertise in different ways. Number seven, resilience. Keep marketing even when sales are inconsistent. Don't quit at the first slow month, but also don't quit marketing after a good month. Some of y'all, you're finally getting some sales and then you stop asking other people for the sale. But the minute you start servicing the people that you already sold to, now you need new people. And if you're not marketing the whole time, you got to start back over. Always be marketing, okay? No, adaptability. Shift messaging when one approach does not resonate with your people, okay? And feel free to ask them why it didn't resonate. But don't keep talking about the same thing nobody's listening to. Number nine, letting go. Eliminate unprofitable offers and the freebies that are draining your time but not bringing in leads, all right? Number 10, energy generation. Build routines that help you to stay consistent with outreach or marketing and your delivery, even when cash flow feels tight. Okay? Because if you're not delivering on the service, then that bad reputation is going to keep you from getting new people. All right? So that's how you go from survival to capacity. Let's go from capacity to scale. This is stage 3. So the negative mindset here that I'm using as an example is I can do everything myself if I just work harder. That's the negative mindset for capacity and scale, going to scale, okay? There are more negative mindsets. We're just using this one as an example. Let's go through the 10 keys and how to solve this. Number 1, reflect. Admit you've become your own bottleneck. Recognize your control issues. I raise my hand. I'm a control freak, okay? But you have to recognize that, solve for that, okay? Number 2, observation and critical thinking. Identify tasks that don't require your genius but eat up your time, okay? Because those are going to be the things that you delegate to somebody else or something else. Number 4, Number 3, focus and prioritization. Concentrate on revenue driving activities, or I like to say money making activities, MMAs, only you can do, and delegate the rest, okay? There are things in your business that only you can do, that take your genius, that take your authority, that take your expertise, that take your thought leadership that nobody else can do. And those are the things you should be doing. Okay, well, let's be the face of the business, be the face of the mission, be the top servicer, be the one that's driving the values, whatever. But your team are less likely to be successful with that. So give them everything else. That's our goal, right? All right. Let's go to where we at. We are on number 4, courage. Hire your first contractor or VA. Trust somebody else with part of your business. Okay? Courage. Have the courage to start trusting somebody else with part of your business, especially in parts that don't take you anyway. All right? Number 5, resourcefulness. Start with affordable part-time support, automation tools, and outsourcing like at least one thing. Okay? Problem solving. If quality slips, build checklists and SOPs instead of firing people. See, some of y'all think it's the people when really you just haven't set them up for success. So before you look at the person, Look at whether or not you set them up for success to solve the problem. Number 7, resilience. Expect mistakes when handing things off. Okay? When you are handing something off, nobody's going to do it like you do it. Okay? So figure out what success looks like so that we understand what they're supposed to be doing it. Because do it like I did, it should not be the goal. The goal should be do it in a way that makes it work. So understand what actually makes it work. Okay? Correct them without retreating into the I'll just do it myself. All right? Number 8, adaptability. Experiment with different tech platforms or support roles until you find the right fit. That's how you adapt. Keep trying. Keep experimenting. Number 9, letting go. Release your perfectionism because progress is better than perfect control. Okay? Progress is better than perfect control. Also, that's where that done is better than perfect. All right? Number 10, energy generation. Use the freed up bandwidth of your energy to take better care of yourself so that you can think strategically and not just operationally. Okay? When you start hiring, most likely you're hiring doers first. Doers only do what you tell them to do, how you tell them, excuse me, how you tell them to do it, when you tell them to do it. They don't solve for problems. So even though you've given somebody something to do, when a problem comes up or something unexpected comes up, it's going to come back to you. You need to have the bandwidth for that. All right? Now, let's go to stage 4, scale. Okay? So how do we get to scale to get our 6 figures and beyond? The number one negative thought you're probably having is, I just need to keep doing more of the same. Yeah. Okay? I just need to find more time to do what I'm already doing. That's your thought. When if what you were already doing was enough to get to the next level, you'd be there. Again, it takes a new you. It's not going to be the same you that gets you to the next level. It's going to be a new you that thinks differently and does things differently. Because being the same you is going to have you doing the same things and getting the same results. All right? So, again, that's not the only negative thought, but I feel like that's the top one. So, we're going to apply our 10 strategies to correct this mindset and have a new us. Number 1, reflection. Ask yourself, am I running a business or just working in one? But some of y'all have created a personal job. Okay? You don't actually have the freedom that should come from a business. So you created a personal job. Number 2, observation and critical thinking. Analyze what parts of your business are scalable and which are draining. Okay? Because things that are taking from, you shouldn't keep doing. So what's taking from and what's helping you to go ahead, because we need to keep the things that are helping us to go ahead, but we have to observe which one is which. Number 3, focus and prioritization. Build your strategy around what works at scale. That's why when y'all always talking about doing one-on-ones, whether it's the core offer or the bonus offer, I'd be like, no, because that's not scalable. You're only one person doing a one-on-one with a finite amount of time in your day. That's not scalable for you. You're going to hit capacity in no time and not make enough money in that capacity. All right. So you need to start thinking scalable. How can this offer serve an unlimited amount of people? That ain't going to be one-on-one. Keep that in mind. All right. Let's go to the next thing. That is going to be courage. Make bold CEO decisions. That means you're going to have to start investing in growth. You're going to start letting go of misaligned clients. You're going to have to start pivoting your business model when you've been doing it for a while and it's not working. All right. Number 5, resourcefulness. Use advisors, mentors, strategic partnerships, coaches, any kind of internal resources. You need to max them out. Max out everybody's success to apply to yours and not just go it alone. Now, we already talked about yesterday that that's not going to be enough. Like there's still going to be something unique about you that was not the same thing that was a thing for your mentor, your coach, or whoever. But that's where other things come into play, like problem solving and resilience. Okay. But we do want somebody to help us as a hack, as more information, because the more information we have, the more equipped we are as a resource to solve problems, to be more resilient. It's just, we still got to figure out what's unique about us. Okay. Let's go to problem solving. Systematically resolve bottlenecks with processes, not just one-off fixes. Okay. Yeah. Processes, which means every time this happens, you are to do this. And anytime that's not working for every situation, guess what we need? A new process. So that every time that happens, now we do this. All right. Number 7, resilience. Push through the discomfort of rebuilding systems and team structures. Push through. Again, every time you hit a new level of growth, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be new to you. So what you thought was working that you were an expert at, now it's something new. You're on a new level. Okay? Push through. Number 8, adaptability. Embrace that scaling is messy. Okay? Keep adjusting as your revenue grows. I have a client right now. She hired me to come in and structure her business, right? But what she had done before she got me was she had stopped getting leads and stopped selling her offer to people, her core offer, because she didn't want to get a bad reputation for not servicing them correctly, right? Well, I put some stuff in place and I was like, okay, this seems to be working, but now it's time for us to break what we have put in place because that's what growth is. I need you to get back out there and start marketing and selling this offer because I don't know if this is going to work for scale. We have to test it. Therefore, we need more people. So my goal is for you to break it so we can put it back together better for even more people. Okay. Let's see, where are we? We are with that was adaptability. Number 9, letting go. Release old processes, old team members, and even old offers that worked at a smaller level but do not scale. Now, I talk bad about the one-on-ones, but let me tell you, one-on-ones is the best way to start. Okay, but it's not the best way to grow. But you get so much great information from doing one-on-ones when you start, and then you take that information and you apply it to group stuff so that you can scale. Okay. Number 10, energy generation. You need to protect your energy like a CEO. That means you need to delegate stuff so that you can focus on the vision and not the tasks that run the day-to-day business. That's what's going to make you the CEO. That's what's going to make things more scalable. Okay. At this level is when you start hiring people like me to be in the day-to-day. People that are operations people and focusing on the day-to-day that just report to you as the CEO that handles problems and crises and growing processes and all that so that you can be the face of your business, take your vision and go out there and get more people so we can break this thing again and grow again. Okay. Now, that was a lot of information. That was a lot. The question of the day is, what stage of business are you currently on? Are you on transactional? Are you on survival? Are you on capacity? Are you on scale? Okay. Then it's going to be for whatever level that you're on, which one of the 10 keys do you feel like is most needed to help you get to the next level? All right. So we're going to start with Shawana Kennedy Media. Let me tell y'all how we let her in and took her an hour to ding into this Zoom. And we tried to wait on her, but you know how it go when people have computers from 1972. But we're going to start with Shawana Kennedy with the question. But first, let me go back to your four levels, and that is transactional, survival, capacity, and scale. All right. Now, the 10 keys are reflection, observation and critical thinking, focus and prioritization, courage, resourcefulness, problem solving, resilience, adaptability, letting go, and energy generation. Okay. So we're going to start with the question of the day. I shouldn't really have to do a recap or repeat because everybody should be in the document, right? So, Shawana Kennedy Media, thank you for joining us finally. What stage of business are you currently on? And which of the 10 keys do you feel like is going to be the most game changing for you to get to the next stage?
Well, because I have been under the tutelage of Miss Shay Cannon, I am actually proud to say that I'm definitely between the capacity and scale. We have done some tree shaking, some letting things go, some handing some things over, actually tearing down and building some things up, all of the things. So if you are not following her, if you are not getting on her list for her retreats, you need to do that because I do have to say, one of the things that shifted for me is when I had my opportunity to visit you, Shay, in Mexico. So that definitely was a big moment for me in my business growth. And I have been on the rise ever since. Thank you, yourself, and the grace of God. So, with that capacity and scale, it is constantly, like you're saying, being visible, which I really do understand that, and knowing that mindset is everything and is mindset with action. So, doing that, that's why I continue to be around you, stick close, because you have definitely been a great tool in my work box to help me continue my growth in my business in all seriousness. And so with that energy, no matter when life show up and shake things out, I know that these, along with other things that I have to constantly keep at the forefront and in my face, because of course, to push stuff to the back, we forget some of the things that helped us to get where we were and where we need to be going. So for me, again, that energy is still there. I constantly work on problem solving. So I'm definitely knocking at the door of the scale, and I really am excited about it. If the world hadn't shifted a little bit at the beginning of this year, and we all know why, I would definitely be at my scale at this point. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. Look, at first I thought the answer to my question got lost in that testimonial, but I heard you. You are at the capacity level going into the scale level,
Yes.
and the key that's going to get you there is number 6, problem solving. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. What stage of business are you currently on, and which of the key strategies out of the 10 do you feel like it's going to be game changing to help you graduate to the next stage?
Good morning. So same, stage 3, capacity and scale.
Okay.
And um, I think you're saying which one of the 10, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, number 3.
The focus.
Correct.
Love it. Love it. All right. Thank you for that. Dr. Latoya Davis. Look, you ain't having to pull as much weight as we thought you was gonna have to pull at first, Dr. Latoya. Which stage of business are you currently on, and which of the key strategies out of the 10 do you feel like will help you to graduate to the next level?
Yeah, so definitely moving into the scalability. And I think similar to, so there are actually two. I've been trying to pick one,
Uh-huh.
but there are actually two. So
Okay.
similar to yesterday, the focus, trying to get to it, the focus and what is it called? Prioritization. Is that what it is?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It is.
Focus and prioritization and the problem solving. I think
Yes.
those two things are like really going hand in hand for me right
Mm-hmm.
now. It's
Yes.
like the focus and problem solve or the focus and prioritization is really making me like hone in on what's working,
Mm-hmm.
and then in that it's like, okay, but what can I fix to make it scalable, make it repeatable, make it easy, right? So it's like as I identify and lock in, then it's also about, okay, how do I create the system around so that I do have the freedom. All of the other things are happening together, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I am.
I love that. So let me also tell you that sometimes to make something scalable, especially for us service based businesses, tech is not going to help a lot. It has to be another person, right? Some of it is it has to be another person providing the service. So that's where we have to know what our capacity actually is, right? How many people can we serve at a time? And then when we replace ourselves with someone else that can serve, they're never going to be as good at the service as we are. So, what is their capacity? Because we cannot say their capacity is the same as ours, but we have to know what their capacity is so we know when hire somebody else that's going to be a service provider. Now we have double capacity. Well, when we break that, we hire somebody else, right? So, all of it is not always going to be tech, but we're going to always start with tech. But sometimes we have to figure out how we go into this agency model of an org chart where we have different people providing the service, but our business is driving for us to hire the next person to service more people. So capacity is why that is the name of that actual stage, right? Cool beans. Kimberly, I don't know what you're doing. You coming off the mic, you using the chat, like what you know, you don't be we be feeling like you had a whole time everybody else to be talking and use the chat, but you just be listening, so we don't be knowing. So while you trying to decide, we're gonna go over here to YouTube because I know Sony was over here. So Sony said, ever since the pandemic, I'm stuck in survival mode. That is a lot of people's story. And then to answer the question for her, in the survival mode, the thing that she feels like is going to help her get out of there, out of the 10 keys, is courage. Didn't I tell you that's where a lot of people get hung up on the courage? They do. It's a true story for most people. Some of us, if we just had the courage to go through and get some stuff done, we would actually have more data to understand what the real problem is. But courage. Kimberly said it's the same for me. Courage. She's in survival mode, and courage is going to help her. Which she kind of told us on yesterday. But now we know what mode Kimberly is in. But Kimberly, survival and courage. Yeah, we got it, Kimberly. Thank you so much for that. So yesterday we talked about that mindset shift of actually understanding that it takes a new you to get to a new level. And then we talked about those 10 keys that's going to help you to cultivate and create that new you with that new mindset to push through, right? Today we talked about what those actual business levels are, and now we attributed those 10 keys to that actual business level and how we're going to get to the next one. So this has been great, right? I only had 2 days this week. So I found a way to make those 2 days valuable for you guys. And my goal of filling gaps before we sunset this morning show at the end of the year. So I hope that it was valuable for you. So does anybody have any questions about what we've talked about in this 2-day series, about why it takes a new you, about what are the 10 strategies to get the new you, and about what are the 4 levels and what it takes to get to the next level? Any questions, value adds, or aha moments?
Not a question, but a value add. I
Okay.
think this was, again, I really like when you focus on these things that are kind of intangibles, but they're tangibles. Does that make any sense? They're
Yes.
they're more connected to us as individuals and our behaviors rather than separately the business as a whole. So this was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is definitely confirmation on why I picked this to go over these 2 days. Because one of the things I don't think we talk about enough are soft skills and mindset. And it's great to talk about, like she said, the tangibles, but the intangibles are just as weighty and just as valuable to understand where you are with them and to understand how to use them to get where you want to go. So thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. Anybody else? Cool beans. Well, let's go to our what's happening this week. Tonight, we are for the paid membership only. We are ending the August goals momentum sprint, and we're planning for our September. I was supposed to do this on Sunday, and I was so laid back for Labor Day, I forgot. I wasn't trying to do no labor. So we're gonna get that in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm gonna throw a link in the group later on, y'all. Tomorrow is the Get Shit Done work session that is usually only for the paid membership, but a couple of times a month we come on, free membership. Free group. We let you come in and experience that with us on the second half. So that is going to be tomorrow. All right. Great. This has been another great week, even though it was a short week. I feel like it was impactful. So this has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first 6 figures in business by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, plus links to resources like how to join the free business mastermind group and how to get show notes from today with the strategies and things on it. Another place where you can get the link to the actual Google Doc and all those things in the description below, y'all. If you haven't already, do me a favor, give us a thumbs up and like this episode. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss all of this good value we give every broadcast day. And today was one of a 2-video series, so make sure you check out the other video. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3,